FM.
So, welcome along to another episode of Disability Life. I'm quite excited, as you can probably tell, to be introducing a legend on children's TV. You might have spotted them already, but please welcome along Chris Slater. Welcome along, Chris.
Hi, a legend. That's a bit of a stretch. Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, you are a legend of TV if you were a kid watching from the 2010s onwards.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we started off on a pretty good note there. Um, yeah. But you, of course, Chris, pretty famous from the Tracy Beaker franchise. Um, you played Frank Matthews on the Tracy Beaker spin-offs. So let's go through them. So Tracy Beaker Returns, which was the first spin-off from the Story of Tracy Beaker as a full-time member. Um, and that was for 2 years. And then Tracy obviously left. Well, Danny, left,
Yeah.
and then the Dumping Ground got created, and you were in that for as a main character for um, series one and series two. Then you left. Then you came as a guest and a featuring member of the cast for season three, five, and six. Obviously, we'll go more into it in a minute. And then, of course, the Survivor Files, which was a little online thing. And then that's pretty much it, really. Um,
I love
you've done a lot
that.
more since,
Yeah.
but you are probably most famous for playing Frank Matthews.
Yeah, I am. I would say that's been the role that people see me as Frank. And I even respond to Frank more than I do Chris, I think, it's very weird when you take on a character of for so long and you live as that character, it's a weird feeling, you know?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so you are pretty much, well, I don't want to say typecast, but you're pretty much just Frank.
Yeah,
You're not
pretty much.
you're not anyone else from every TV show you've ever done. You're just Frank to most
Yeah,
people.
I'm just
Yeah,
Frank,
just
just,
yeah,
yeah. But I think it's the longevity of Tracy Beaker and the dumping ground, the dumping ground being still on today, which is wild. It's
yeah.
just, I think is it season 12 or 13 now? It's
Well, it's been on since 2013. So,
wow.
and I think because I did have a little look at it this morning, and I think they said they've been greenlit for Series 16 and Series 17, going on until
Wow.
2027, I think.
Oh my, that is a long show, damn.
Yeah, that's a lot of iPlayer. That's a lot of binge watching for people.
Yeah. If you're ever bored, third, 17 series. But yeah, it, I mean, it's always been a massive
Yeah,
show. Even the story of Tracy Beaker when I was growing up, it's always been a massive thing. Even though, like, I think if it's on kids' TV, people look down upon it and whatnot. But actually, it's sort of become a part of British life. You know what I mean? Like, Danny is still doing things as the character. And it just the spin-off of the dumping ground is, still going, and there's still loads of iconic characters in the show. It's a crazy um job to be a part of, and we've had some big names
Mm.
doing guests, like Warwick Davies, who's um, A-list in my eyes. He's up there with some of the most appealing actors of all time. And it just I just can't believe that I'm a part of it and that I'm a legend. As you said
Yeah,
5 minutes ago, it's a weird thing.
yeah,
So
mad.
weird.
So before we get into all that, in a bit later on, but so tell us a bit more, Chris or Frank or whatever you like to be called. Tell us a bit more about your early life with obviously cerebral palsy. So, were you born premature?
No, so I was born late. Which I have adapted into all of my life now, where I'm always late for everything. But I was born late. There was some complications with the birth. Obviously, I was born. I was a bit blue. Uh, Went to ICU. And I was like the biggest baby there because I was 9 pounds. Sorry, mum. Um, and yeah, kind of got told that I would never walk and I would never talk. And that they should forget about me. My mum and dad should forget about me and put me in a home. Um, which they didn't, thankfully, and they created, you know, some kind of walking thing for me, and some kind of talking thing. So, like, I'm still, um, I'm a long way off normal, which I'm quite happy about. I'm quite happy to be a long way off normal, because normal sounds boring to me. So yeah,
You've done pretty well, I'd say, because obviously you can walk, you can talk, and
yeah,
all the rest. So, yeah,
yeah.
and so nursery, early school life, primary school, all mainstream. Were you in special schools?
So I started in mainstream,
Right.
um, and I I I was very sheltered, and I was very wrapped in cotton wool by the teachers,
Mm.
and my mum said to the teacher, "Oh, why Chris not doing PE?" And they were like, "Oh, because we don't want him to fall, we don't want him to hurt himself." But I mean, mom was like, "Why? Like, if he hurts himself, he will know not to do that. He will know what kind of how to do his own thing, sort of thing." And then, I love PE, I love football. So I always wanted to get involved, and I was the youngest of three brothers, sorry. Um, so I'd always join in, and I would always hang around with them, even though they were 5 or 6 years older than me. I would always join in. I would always, if if they were in trouble, I was always in trouble, so I was like trying to just be like them, like every younger sibling. I would just try and do it my own way, you know?
Yeah. Um. Yeah, and then so you start off in newsroom. So at some
Yeah.
point you presumably went into
Yes.
the
So I would say, I
oh,
believe it was early seniors. So I was about 12 or 13, is that?
right, yeah, so secondary school.
That's it, yeah.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
It was many years ago. Many. So I was just year seven. Whenever year seven is, um, yeah, that's when I swapped to the special school, and then kind of again like do my own thing, doing a bit of acting here and there. Didn't really take it that serious until I presume you have a question about how it started as an actor, so we can kind of do that question later. Um, and then, but mainly it was about football, it was about sports, it was about, that was my plan A
Yeah.
until, you know,
Yeah, until yeah, so well what I want to ask you was this sort of unusual way of getting into acting. You were telling me before it came on, because I just assumed that you did some sort of school some sort of stage production at the local theatre or something. But no, you actually like what was it, a Christmas play, and what was it?
it,
That's
so it was a festival, it
right.
was a Shakespeare festival, um, and I was given the part of Macduff in Macbeth. And
Oh yes,
then
that famous
um,
play, Macbeth in
that
Macbeth.
the
Yeah,
Scottish play that nobody, I'm an actor. Oh, I'm gonna get cursed
yeah.
now. But yeah, that Scottish play, and like little did I know that there was a scout for BBC sat there, and my school got an email from the BBC, as did many other schools, I presume, got an email saying, "Hey, we're looking for a character in Tracy Beaker, and the character is disabled. Um, do you have anyone that you can put forward?" So I was one of three who got put forward, and I just didn't take that audition serious, so I went in, um, did did my best with it, but also I wasn't really like looking at becoming an actor because I didn't think that was possible. I thought, it's an all around UK audition. They couldn't find somebody better, somebody, um, but they did.
Of all
they,
the people, I picked you.
I know, what were they thinking? Jeez. But yeah, no, they found me, and yeah, had a call back for to find my Liam, who was my best friend on the show, and the rest is history, apparently. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So did you go in for a what do they call it before you get the job? A rethrough, like a okay, are we through with like a green screen test with somebody else just to see
So
what you work with?
we had a callback, and it was due to be in London, and I said, "Oh, I can't do it because I'm doing my GCSEs," you know, um, and then the BBC were like, "Oh well, we can come to you," you know. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit strange. Still not clocking in, and me, I've got the part. Um, and I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, that's fine, you know. So I ended up finishing my science exam on at like 3 o'clock, and then driving down to do the audition. And then I met Richard, um, ended up getting the part as well. Um, and two other lads, and it was like, and there was Philip Frank role. It was only me and someone else. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm down to like the last two. Um, and then somehow ended up getting the part. Which I'm still baffled by that I kind of I beat everybody else. And I'm like so grateful for that moment, you know?
Well, so let's talk about your plan A. If if you didn't play Macbeth in Macbeth, uh,
Yeah.
you didn't get this iconic part of television, children's television, I should say, not really, not
Yeah.
national television. But what would your life be looking like now? I mean, would you want it to be like a Cerebral Palsy footballer? Or what would you like? What would
I wanted to get into coaching. Probably football would
you
have been my choice of sport. You know, I just wanted to see what was out there. You know, obviously football was my main sport. Um, but like I've done things in the past. Like I did the national national athletics in Blackpool. Um, I did that for a number of years. You know, got quite a lot of medals. So sport was definitely a big part of my life. Pardon me. Um, and that was always plan A to be part of sport.
yeah.
You know, I could have, I would have looked into doing some manager badges probably and kind of, you know, started off in lower league football and trying to make a name in there, but obviously, you know, the acting kind of took off and took over. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now. You
So,
know,
so if you weren't acting, you could have been the Pep Guardiola of football.
I could have. I don't think I could have been. Could have been Steve Bruce, maybe, but not Pep Guardiola.
Yeah,
But yeah, I could have easily been Man United manager.
yeah. You could have been Man United's new manager by the end of this weekend. Uh,
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been. Uh,
yeah. What's your
yeah.
team, by the way? You were Celtic.
My team is Manchester United.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, let's not talk about football. Let's not. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. That's a bit of a
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
sore spot. Um,
anyway.
yeah, because I actually had a very similar ambitions to you. I wanted to be a sports coach growing up.
Yeah.
And I went all the way through college, through uni, doing ones of this book touch. But when I got to end of uni, which was only a few years ago now, trying not to make a bit old here, Chris, but and then I passed uni eventually, and then it was COVID. It was COVID time, and then at that point,
Oh wow.
I wanted to travel. So I thought, oh, I'd like to travel, see the world, and then settle down afterwards. But obviously, COVID came. All the borders were closed, and I thought, well, what am I going to do?
Come said no. You get a hard no on that one, my friend.
Yeah. And then I s- eventually I got stayed at uni for 1 year, did my masters. Not in sports coaching. I didn't get the good enough grades from the undergraduate to do
Mm,
masters. So I looked at other sport related courses, and sports journalism came up,
yeah.
and the radio came along, and then oh yeah, I'm doing podcasts for the radio and all that.
It's so cool though.
Yeah,
I love to get into radio and whatnot, and I mean, just I would love to do any sort of media. Any sort of media is I think acting is fun and whatnot, but like media, like having to be yourself and
yeah,
kind of talking to people that interest you.
yeah.
Um, that's a beautiful thing. That is a wonderful thing to like get involved with. But yeah.
I've got a face for radio as well. Can't you tell?
So do I, mate. So do I. Jeez.
Well,
God.
yeah. But yeah, there was a video recently. I don't know how recent it was, but I think it was quite recently. I had a little look through your Instagram. I saw a
Yeah.
video of you and Danny Harmer. Obviously, this was when she was
Yeah.
a play or panto or whatever. Oh, it
Yeah.
was panto because they were talking about you being buttons or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got weird back then. You shaved it off now, but
I did. I
yeah,
shared it off.
haven't you? Yeah,
It would get into that bit where you just want to scratch your face,
yeah.
and I'm
I'm
like,
doing that now.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, get into that bit, and I was like, oh no, 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 we need to sort that out. So yeah, it came off, and I feel like a new man now. So yeah.
yeah. But it's nice when life throws you a curveball and you end up with lemons and that. So
Exactly,
yeah.
yes.
I'm sure that's not the right phrase, but we're going with it. Um,
We do. It sounds right anyway.
yeah. Yeah. So going back on track a little bit. So obviously plan A didn't happen. Plan B happened instead.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So presumably, so GCSEs, you would have been about 15 or 16 then.
Yeah, I was 16. I didn't do that well, to be honest. I ended up with every letter. I got every single, got an A, got a B, got a C, got a U. So I'm like, yeah, that's, but um, that kind of um thing that was that looked like my life, you know what I mean? It looked, cause my life then was a little bit chaotic because it was like this Tracy Beaker thing came out of the blue, very like wild. My mom was going through cancer at the time, so like everything was up in the air. And I went finding GCSEs, the stress of GCSEs, very like traumatic. and very just overpowering and overwhelming. And
Stress.
I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
this is horrendous," because I'm worried about my mom. I'm worried about this audition, um, and it just kind of my life took a bit of a turn. But luckily, I'm 32 now. Like GCSEs don't matter. I've still got my mum, so we're happy with that. And I'm still um doing bits and bobs in the acting world, so it's all worked out in the end.
Yeah. Um. So how? That's an interesting question for you. Was it filmed throughout the summer? Like most kids shows, like obviously you have August stuff. Do you film it when you go back to school, or was it throughout the year and then you had someone come in and do a bit of schooling throughout breaks and stuff?
So it started I believe it started in um July, because it started just as
Broke up from school.
the summer holidays began. Um, but then it was going when I started it was 13 weeks, so the kids had most of the summer just working, and then September comes and they had to go and do tutoring. They had to kind of do whatever. I had 1 day of tutoring, because they kind of lumped me in with the kids, and I was like, "Well, I'm done with schoolwork," and they were like, "Oh, well, you can go do whatever, you can go chill, you can, you know, kind of wait around and be an adult." And I'm like, I'm not an adult.
Yeah.
I'm still a kid at heart, but I'm like, having to be an adult and talk to Danny and Connor, who played Tracy and Mike, which was very scary, by the way, because I grew up watching Danny and Mike,
Yeah.
and now I'm sat in the room going, "Oh, how are you?" Yeah, and I'm trying to make small talk with these absolute legends of my childhood, and I'm just sounding like a nerd. I'm sounding like a complete nerd because I'm only 16,
Mm.
so farting is still funny to me, and I'm trying to have a grown up conversation with these legends of my childhood. It's weird, very weird.
So you, so you were fangirling then?
A little bit, yeah. This shows how old I am. I don't think fangirling was a thing when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess I was a fangirling a little bit. It's just so weird.
No. So just you're in your early 30s now then?
Yes, I am.
Um,
Thanks for remembering.
No, 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 it's just
Remember.
because I was just trying because obviously I'm only 27. So
Yeah.
only, yeah, just
You're young.
but oh
Young.
no, but by the time this comes out, I might have already been 28 by that point. It depends when I release it really. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's madness. But yeah, so obviously, so with the character of Frank, was it just was there a backstory to him? Well, there must have been some sort of backstory, really.
Yeah.
To get there.
So
Was it your
Frank.
backstory? Was it the same
No,
backstory?
no, no. It was very similar in a way.
Mm,
Um, but also wasn't. So it was the backstory I was given was Frank was 12. Bear in mind I'm 16, and I'm like, Frank is 12? Okay. And the backstory was Frank lived with his granda because his
Yeah,
parents
of course. Yeah.
didn't want him. Um, and his granda got too old and put him in care. And then his character description was a very cheeky lad who gets into trouble with his best friend Liam.
Mhm.
And that was it. That was all I got. So I kind of went like, oh, well, again, going back to my childhood, I would always get in trouble with my brothers, or I would get into trouble with someone, very little scamming, but, I kind of played on that a bit. I was like, okay, so I just want to fit in as a character. I want to fit in and kind of have a laugh with my best friend Liam, which when they cast Richard, that's what we did. We kind of, ended up like becoming like brothers, and yeah, we got into some funny moments.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And Richard, I'm assuming, is
Yeah,
the actor who plays Liam.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I remember seeing you and Liam on the show, and it was like some sort of recast of literally just Bouncer and Low from Story of Tracy.
yeah.
So there was, I can see the similarities between the two shows, really.
I think that's the idea of Liam and Frank was definitely how do we get a lull and a bouncer into the show, and obviously Frank and Liam was kind of their generation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the younger generation of Liam Bouncer.
Younger generation in 2010.
Yeah. So thanks. So it was like, but I again adored Bouncer and Lol, and I adored all that of that. And I thought it was so cool that they had somebody with CP being a bit of a tour bag and being a little bit of a scammer, and kind of it was very good to see him very like forward thinking of the BBC to
Mm.
allow us to do that.
Yeah. Um, do you feel like you were? I mean, I don't see it that way, but I thought I'd ask you anyway. But um, did you feel like you were the layer of the group from Story of Tracy Beaker?
Really not. I never thought um I was the layer of it. I knew that
I imagine.
I was the disabled one. I knew that, but I never felt like I was just checking a box.
Yeah.
I know that some people may have seen it that way, but I don't think I don't think it felt that way, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, because you're your own character and different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all, yeah, I get that. Um, yeah. Yeah. So sorry, you were in Tracy Beaker Returns as a full class member for
Yeah.
the 2 years, and then obviously, um, Danny Palmer, Tracy Beaker left. Um, that 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 was probably why the Tracy Beaker Returns stopped because it wasn't Tracy there anymore.
Yeah,
So that's probably why it got renamed as a dumping ground. And I
yeah,
saw it as a sort of like continuation of the series, just renamed dumping ground rather than Tracy Beaker
yeah.
Returns. Was that the case?
So yeah, I think Danny left. I'm not sure
Yeah.
entirely why, maybe when a series depends on someone, it can be very like demanding, and maybe
Mm.
like that's kind of her thing. I don't want to put that too much
Yeah.
out there because obviously it's
Yeah.
her choice. And then the dumping ground came out of that, and it just the first couple of scripts I was really kind of worried because obviously everything had to go through Tracy. But then as you were reading them, you were like, oh well, I'm I'm not really missing Tracy. It felt more like its own thing. I know it was a spin off, but it felt
Yeah.
more like a show and not just Tracy Beaker saving the day. And it felt like it was we could delve into characters more and just kind of um you know
Yeah.
see see more of the kids, which I think kids watching want to see more kids on screen. They want to see people that are like them helping each other, falling out with each other, doing it, this and that and everything in between.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I missed Danny when I was working on it, but that's a separate thing of like missing the actor, missing the character.
Yeah, there's no point in keep calling it Tracy Beaker Returns if it's not even on the show anymore.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's probably yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, the dumping ground came into play. Um, Still going to this day. Which
mad.
madness. I would have thought it might finish like 5 or 6 series in. I wasn't expecting it to be a continuation until you know madness how long it's been going on.
Yeah, I thought it would have ended when Mike left. That's when I thought, oh, we're done. It'd been a good one. But no, it's still going.
Still going. Yeah, so but you're no longer in the dumping ground, obviously. But
Yeah.
you were a main character for the first two series. That this was 2003, 2004. 2000, 2013, 2014. Sorry. Um, then you left. I'm assuming you either got picked up by adoptive parents or whether you were. I'm assuming at care homes, when you reach the age of 18, you're legally allowed to go and not be
I,
in the
I,
care home anymore, kids'
yeah,
care home. So,
I think what we thought about was Frank moved into like assisted care. Or he moved, into assisted living, maybe. That's what we were
mm,
trying to figure out, but I don't think it's I don't think there's a scene that explains that. I think that's where I put Frank. I put Frank into assistant care. Yeah.
Right. And then you appeared again. So you were a guest character for season 3, 2015. Featured cast member for series 5, which was 2017. And then again as a guest character for 2018's series 6 of the Underground, and it's not been seen since. But so yeah, I mean, what was it like jumping back in? I mean, obviously when you left, you kind of thought, oh, I'm probably not gonna go back. A bit like Danny Harmer when she was Tracy Beaker, not thinking she'd be back for various spin-offs. Um,
Um,
but yeah, I mean, what was it like? I mean, did you choose to leave after the first two seasons?
no, I didn't. Sorry, I did not choose to leave. I think my character was getting a little bit too old. You know, at the start of season 2, um, I had a phone call from our producer at the time, and he explained to me Frank's journey for um that season, and I was like, oh, okay, I was a little bit good, but also I accepted it, and yeah, just got sworn to secrecy. Never told any of the cast. So when that script hit our table, yeah, it was a big shock for quite a lot of people. It was just it was probably the right time to go. It was just getting longer and longer. Um, I think when you have an acting job for so long, that thing takes over your entire life. And at the time, from 16, so I finished my GCSEs, did Tracy Beaker, went into college, and I was doing Tracy Beaker College, Tracy Beaker College, I was just doing that for 5 years, and I thought, I've got one more year left. Um, Maybe it is time to have a bit of a break, and
Yeah,
just kind of so I felt like it was the right time. It was never gonna be my call to call Time on Frank, because obviously I enjoyed doing the shows, and being a disabled actor is very hard to actually get work. So if I've got the work, I'm trying to keep that as long as possible. And yeah, just looking back, I feel like it was the right time and the right decision to kind of let me go. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, then I wouldn't brought you back.
it did. Yeah.
So yeah, no point in letting you go then, was there? But you were a guest for season 3, so I'm guessing that you weren't in every episode, but you came in for a few and then went off
I
again.
think I popped in for one. Um,
Hmm.
I don't actually remember where I popped in from, but I popped in, uh, popped out, and then
Yeah.
that became a running thing for like 3 years, where I would pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out, um, and yeah, I did enjoy, I enjoyed uh, working with the Dumping Ground cast. It was nice to see the new cast, and
Hiding
it
in the atmosphere. Yeah.
yeah, it was just it was exciting to see a new cast, a new atmosphere, like everything was new. It felt like it was a new time for the show as well, and that got me excited. So I was very happy to leave it in good hands. You know.
Yeah. And then featured, so obviously that means more episodes than a guest would have done. And then you went back as a guest then again,
Yeah,
so only popping in and out for a few. But
yeah.
yeah, so there must have been reasons for popping you back in again. But did you feel like your story was complete? And they just thought, let's just bring you back for whatever. I mean, was that ever an explanation to been? They must have said on the show. They must have said the reason why you're back. But you
I
know,
I think the episodes. I remember being brought back to help one of the kids um kind of go back into the dumping ground. And I remember one episode where I was part of the council for some reason, and then I'm just like, oh, Frank had no like interest in becoming a council member. I don't know why I'm here. But obviously I'll take the money. But I'm just like, okay, I've lost Frank a bit here. Um I've lost my way with Frank, and now it just feels like I'm being brought back for like a pop or like a buzz. And I'm just a bit like, I'm not sure where the character of Frank is. Like, cause I thought my leaving up when I was a main cast member,
yeah,
that was the perfect ep
yeah.
for him to like leave, and that would be the end of him. But you know, it was just it. Yeah,
Some sort of gimmick, like cameo, like oh,
yeah, a little bit
let's
like a
put Frank back
gimmick.
in.
Yeah, it felt very much. I'm a big fan of WWE, so
Mm,
it feels a bit like when they bring back The Rock or The Undertaker. You know, it feels very much like, oh my god, he's here.
yeah.
And then I'm just like, oh, like, I miss that sort of
Mm,
Undertaker, that
yeah.
Rock, you know, just bringing me in for
Rather be,
anything now.
yeah,
It's, you know,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, did you get asked to become back? I mean, presumably you could have said no, or
yeah.
but
Well, I said yes, and now looking back, I think I should have been a bit more like I was excited to be brought back for as an actor
yes,
and not as a fan. And I think I should have thought a bit more as a fan and be like, do I really want Frank coming back every sort of every series.
If it's
And I'm getting a bit, yeah, it's a bit of a weird time for me, that one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it, Chris?
yeah,
But yeah, but you weren't in series four at all, actually.
no.
Of Saving Grace.
Hmm.
But yeah, but after series six, you didn't appear back in again. But there was one other thing actually that I wanted to kind of just cross over for a little bit. So Survival Files. This was
Yeah,
Dumping Ground Survival Files, which is an online series. Like you go on
yeah,
BBC website and look at a bit like when I was a kid. I loved Sarah Jane Adventures, and there was like a Sarah Jane Adventures. So
I
I've
love Surgery Adventures.
so big fan of Doctor Who. So that's probably why.
Yes. Let's
Um,
talk about that next.
so yeah, I mean, but you were only in 2014. So
Yeah,
again, that was probably when Series Two was being filmed or produced, or
yeah,
yeah. So you're only in that specific
yeah,
series of Survivor Files. Then
yeah,
it ended in 2020. So it hasn't been going on as the main show itself. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, the Survivor Files. So that must have been a bit of an. Was it like a one camera operation kind of thing? It wasn't like multi camera, was it? Like the main.
No, it was normally it was filmed during rehearsal week,
Right.
so you would kind of be brought in and you would either rehearse a scene that was
Mm,
coming up, or you would just do survival files, and survival files was just normally normally you and a small crew talking about a scene and kind of doing a bit of the behind the scenes of the actual scene, but in character. So it was really good for like a bit fan to kind of see. Um and yeah, it was just a show that kind of helped helped survive the dumping ground, which, you know, is cool, but don't take it as hard evidence
mm.
to kind of survive at care home, because it's the dumping ground and a care home are very different, you know.
Yeah, so yeah, because obviously on the BBC I couldn't get access to it, obviously because it's that long ago they probably shut the website down or something. But I'm sure
Probably.
it's somewhere on YouTube somewhere. Just
I think there must be. There
yeah,
are a lot of things on YouTube, I think.
yeah, the amount of things
Yeah.
out on there now. Yeah, um, yeah, okay, well, and yeah, so you must have enjoyed your time on the Tracy Beaker sort of Tracy Beaker spin-off. I mean, are you still in touch with any? Obviously, Danny, as I mentioned, is still
Yeah, Danny,
the Panther,
Danny Slater.
but you being Buttons maybe for the future. But are you in touch with any others? Are you still in touch with Richard?
Still in touch with Richard, so Liam, Johnny, no, Joe, who played Johnny, Lily, who played Jesse, who played Lily, so many names, Kia, who played Jodie, James, who played Luke, yeah, like, quite a few. I think um, we're all friends, but I just think it's hard to keep up with so many actors. You know, it's great. You know,
Yeah, so do you ever think you do like a reunion type? You know,
I
like the
think
office, like friends, like like a
I think
reunion.
that would be a great thing, if the BBC could do something like that, um, it would be really cool to like see everyone in one place again. Because obviously we are all over the country. Like I'm in the north. Quite a lot of them from London, Birmingham, and now we're all doing some wonderful things. Like Amy is killing it on Netflix. Mia McKenna Bruce is doing she's doing a lot of modeling work now, and John Bell's working in America, so it would be really hard to do, but it would be really fun to see them all again.
Yeah. And this is series recast we're talking about. This is like the early Tracy Beaker Returns, Dumping Ground,
Yeah,
like cast.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, not the
yeah.
cast of now, where it's like 15, 11-year-olds playing characters that are like
Well,
9.
the cast now are seeing each other now, so
Yeah.
it would really fun for them now, and then
Mm.
maybe in 10 years
Yeah.
they can have their own reunion. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that brings us to another send on the whole Tracy Beaker stories. So yeah, you carried on. So yeah, 2015, 2018, 2017. But in between those sort of skits, if you like, of coming back in, you
yeah,
actually are in, well, what I could say at least. I mean, you probably could fill me in if you did any more, but you did a couple of comedy playhouse pilot,
yeah,
if you will. So, Broken Biscuits, which was a pilot in 2016 that never actually got greenlit for anything else.
yeah,
And that one was by Craig Cash, I
yeah,
believe. And obviously he does cover books. We have
yeah,
Alison Steadman, famous for obviously Oh My Christ, Pam. Then you had
yeah,
Catherine Cole, who was in Coronation Street. Timothy West, the late great Timothy West, who was in EastEnders and had a great career, and some others. And then there was you in
randomly, yeah.
tell me a bit about the plot. What was the actual? Because I was just thought, oh, it's a show about broken biscuits, but it's not.
So the
Um,
plot for Broken Biscuits were the three stories. Um, there was can I remember all of the three? So there was a story about a B&B run by an older couple. Um, there was a story about a disabled man and a brother. And he was his brother was trying to um get a woman, but the brother is useless with women and they can't do anything. And the other story was I can't remember. But it was something, and it was just an incredible pilot that did not get the green light, as you said. But it was just a massive cast with some big names. I bet if people at IMDb Broken Biscuit, there's gonna be a couple of actors that you will have seen on the BBC, and you will have seen in a
mm,
lot of things. it was just incredible, and of course there was me, and I just kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, you know, but it was incredible. It was just, I mean, Quick Cash can do no wrong at all. So it was just a fun pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I'm just going through the rest of the cast, and I'm like, who are they? So obviously the top ones are the ones that I mentioned. You know, probably the most famous. But you play someone called Tom in that.
yeah.
So what was your sort of story there? What were you just a visitor at this B&B? I mean,
So Tom Tom couldn't speak.
oh,
So my characters, you hear my characters' thoughts, and that was played by another actor. And I kind of I look down upon people, like, there's a scene where we're in a pub quiz, and the pub quiz master is giving out a question, and he can my character, well, I know the answer is this, but obviously I can't communicate that to my other friends, so they obviously like they 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 give a wrong answer, but because the quiz master is their buddy, they give them the right answer. So my character was kind of the smartest guy in the room without the ability to speak, which was a bit of a challenge because obviously I went from Frank, who could speak, um, to kind of being almost a shell of a person, and just kind of was uh, allowed very little movement, and obviously no speaking voice. So it was quite an intense um character to play.
yeah.
And it just a funny pilot that I recommend everybody try and dig up and give it a watch.
And then I'm sure there'll be some sort of petition coming up soon going, run it back, to a series or.
I would love to do one. I mean, Quick Cash, who wrote the thing, he can do no wrong. So if we have a series by Quick Cash, put that out. Give it the green light, put it out. It's a fun. I could not believe I was a part of such a magnificent pilot, but unfortunately, not meant to be.
No. And another one actually, but this one
Yeah.
was actually released. It's still on iPlayer all these years later. Um, so this was again the same year. You've been busy. But you again Comedy Playhouse. This one was Kurt Moore. Um,
Yes.
and so this one was like a sort of it was a 4 episode, I think, 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I think you own it in one of them, weren't you?
Yeah. So Kutmer was a standalone episode. So it was just the one
Yeah.
episode of Kutmer. Um. Uh. Again, funny little pilot. Um. Great great to be a part of, and it was actually disabled characters
Yeah,
done right, because it was like, they had their own personalities. They had reason um to do the thing that they were doing. It was just another brilliant pilot. I think they missed the ball on this one. They definitely missed the ball. Cause it was so good. It was so good.
yeah. So you didn't get asked back to do because after the first one, which you were in, it seemed to be very sort of like how one character led episode, or at least two or three, for the other three episodes that they put out on iPlayer. It seemed to be very just a single character following their day or whatever.
Mm,
Not like an ensemble as such, but yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's how I found
I'm
it.
not sure because I only watch the one that I'm in.
So, do you still watch yourself back now when it's like reruns or?
So I watch myself once, and that is it. That
Yeah,
is all I can really comprehend, because I suffer with great anxiety when I watch myself, and I just nitpick everything that I do, and it's very, very kind of self-destroying to watch myself, and it's something that I've had ever since I was a kid, doing a school play, and they would film it, and then you would watch it back, and oh, nah, no thanks. I will I will watch it once, and then that is it. Never again.
so when you did watch yourself back, you were kind of like just looking for anything. You were kind of like criticizing yourself, like, why did I do it this
Yeah,
way? I should have done it this way, and then you wouldn't sit back and just watch it as a fan, like, and oh, there I am again.
I I
I'm sure people get a big head when they watch themselves back. I'm
I
sure.
mean, some people may, but I'm
Yeah,
I'm just like, no, I'm my worst critic. I will watch a scene, um and everything that I did right. And even like I've had directors in
mm,
the past
right.
going, no, that was really good. That was the best you ever done it before. I could still have a list of things that I've done wrong, and so I am my own like hardest critic, and I will criticize myself more than anybody will. So.
Mm. Um. So, um, why acting? I mean, you could have easily just said no to this BBC talent person all those years ago and not go into acting at all. And then someone else could have played Frank. I mean, God knows who that would have been, but certainly not myself. Um, but um, but yeah, I mean, why? You must have liked being in front of the camera when they were that young, and then carried on. Why did you carry on? What was the?
Why did I carry on? That's a good question.
Thank you.
I I think it was just um I didn't. have a purpose in life. Before the acting came in, I know like I had goals, but I don't think that was my purpose to do it. And I think when the acting came in, um, I I believed there's a reason why I, I got chosen. You know, there's a reason why um my life sometimes goes upside down, and acting kind of takes over, and I think I enjoy the chaos of it, and I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy meeting obviously I met you today, and I just um enjoy a career that's a little bit out there and a little bit like different, and I think that's the thing that keeps me going. Is I enjoy it. I'm quite good at it.
Throwing you
I,
on
I
phone.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just like, this is what I want to do. I enjoy. I did a show 2 years ago. Uh, and I enjoyed working on it so much that I'm like, oh, I really want to do more theatre. I really want to do um more out there stuff, and just it's just fun. That what a job should be. It should be fun, and it should be your want to do it. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just asked Chris you about the why acting without even realising that you did some other things. Uh, despite being frank and despite being part of a comedy playhouse for a couple of pilots, but you go looking at IMDb, you actually did a couple of more. So in 2019, you were in Sorry, We Missed You as Ben. Care to tell us what the plot was? You know, what kind of
So
story?
the plot was,
Yeah,
it was about a man who was a delivery driver who worked a 0 hour contract, and it was also about his wife who was a carer, also on a 0 hour contract, and it was just their lives being their lives in the modern society, and it was you know how they coped with being you know being on a 0 hour contract,
yeah,
and kind of trying to provide for their family, and um not letting anything stop their work. And um it was just, yeah, it was a brilliant film to be a part of. I played one of the patients that the wife is looking after, called Ben. And yeah, it was only one day of filming, but it was like a wonderful day to film. Ken Loach is an absolute legend, and I loved working with Ken. He had kind of um a down to earth way of filming. So it was almost like we just got rid of the script and improvised the scene. And it's a bloody good film,
Mm.
very good film.
And talking about carers, do you have any carers or do you pretty much provide yourself with everything?
I provide myself. I kind of I need help a little bit, but mostly I I do everything myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got a partner, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sam. Lovely Sam.
Oh, damn. As a girlfriend, engaged, married.
The fiance, she will be getting an upgrade next year.
Ah, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
4 years together, going strong. Um, yeah, so Sam's a big uh help in my life. She keeps she keeps the normality in my life when I'm out doing, these amazing things. She like brings it all down and it's like, right, but like keep your keep your humility, is that a word? Humility? Keep being humble. Um and yeah,
Keep you grounded, that kind of
yeah,
thing.
keeping me grounded, keeping me
Yeah. So you don't
yeah.
end up just enough to Hollywood status,
Yeah,
back
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping me feet on the ground, it's lovely. It's great.
4 years. So you met her during COVID then.
Yeah, met her online. Uh, met her through TikTok, actually.
Oh, I was going to say Tinder or
Um,
something, but
no, no,
ah, Tinder.
Tin, I swear down, TikTok is way better than Tinder. Get on TikTok, mate. Get on TikTok.
So did she recognise you as Frank then?
Yeah, so she was a bit of a fan, and obviously I just enjoyed talking to her, so and then kind of
And the very
feelings
nice came
happened.
afterwards. Yeah.
It all did, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
good.
4 years
Yeah.
down the line, we're still together.
Oh, brilliant. Peacefully. Yeah, and then sorry, going back to your acting career for a minute.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and then the last one that you, well, the last one that you got credited for, or at least you got recognised for, 2022. So again, during a bit of COVID time, if you like, you were at the National Theatre, all of us as Kyle.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, again another one there. So yeah, this was about uh yeah, a group of disabled people or created by.
So, I think there was a cast of 18. I think three of them were physical disabilities. Um, um, and it was just a play about the government, about like how the government treats disabled people unfairly. Which is still going on to the day, even though we've
Yes,
changed governments. But yeah, it's it's it still resonates now. I
yeah,
hope it's still on the National Theatre app, and I hope that people can sit down and watch it and definitely want to check out yourself.
So I'm presuming your character was receiving Pip, and as you are in real life, I would assume, and then, um, kind of, yeah. So it was actually created by Jess, was it? Another disabled.
Created by Francesca
Oh, fantastic!
Martinez.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
it. Oh, and
Who also played Jess. Yes.
oh,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
She wrote it. That was her first ever script and her first ever performance as an actor. Um, she was a comedian for many years. And now she's happy doing script writing and doing bits of acting here and there, and yeah.
Yeah. And so, apart from the ones that I've just mentioned, obviously Frank was your big role, and then you do
Yeah.
some ones afterwards. Is there any others that I've missed out, or you probably
So
you probably did a lot of guest spots like Casualty or Doctors or
no, I've never done casualty. I've never done doctors. I'm available. I'm definitely available if people want me in them shows. But I think the two that were not on there, and I don't know why it's not on there. Um, I did a German film
right.
called Charlotte Link, um, where I played a character called Duncan who suffered from brain damage.
Oh,
But
perfect.
I've not even seen that one. I've not even seen that one. And I did a theatre show at Park Theatre in London called Animal, and that was about an LGBTQ disabled man um trying to get laid. So it was a
That must have been
comedy.
exciting.
Yeah, it really was actually. It was really cool to obviously play disabled character, but also a gay character. I've never played a gay character before. And yeah, it was really fun and really just I love the theatre to be a part of, you know?
I'm assuming on those sets nowadays, um, you have these kind of not consultants, but you have like a embassy coordinator or
Yeah,
something like that. I'm sure
yeah.
they have one of those for that form.
Yeah, we had Robbie. Robbie was our intimacy director, and he would kind of teach. Um, he would teach how to convincingly like uh, do these scenes
Yeah,
of intimacy. Um,
you're
and
cringing at this
it was
point, aren't you?
very it was very bizarre to start off with because it was the man kind of
Yeah.
fake faking these scenes, and we were like, what, how are you getting paid for the job? You know, it was very surreal, but I think credit to Robbie. He made it so easy. He made it so
Mm.
second nature to all of us. So it was really good. I think Animal is one of the best um theatre shows for not only disabled people but also for the LGBTQ um
Plus,
community. 'Cause it kind of highlighted um certain issues in both groups, and it made a lot of people with disabled members of family kind of open their eyes, and also it made the LGBTQ community kind of feel seen as well. So it was a beautiful little
hmm,
play.
yeah. Um, Here's a question for you that I haven't actually written down, but when you were talking, I thought of it. Um, do you ever get bored playing disabled characters when you like to be a different character entirely, or are you happy representing cerebral palsy slash other disabled people in all the acting you've done?
My dream character um is probably um somebody who happens to have a disability. So they've got their own like feelings, they've got their own motives, and not all of them rely on disability. So it's all that's the character I love. It just it enhances the story where you've got a disabled character who's almost rebelling against the term disability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but it depends if the audience knows what you're talking about as well.
I
Um,
hope they
people,
do.
yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, I know what you mean. Um, yeah, so that would be an interesting avenue to go down if any producers
Yeah.
in this kind of like nudging them to work with you. Um, yeah, so are you doing any? Well, you mentioned before you actually came on about 2 hours ago or whatever it was, but you were saying that you're in a project at the moment because I was gonna ask you if you ever wanted to go back into the sports field. Um, but I'm presumably acting is now your kind of like forefront, and you're doing projects at the moment, and you're doing other stuff as well.
I think I mean I am in a project at the moment that I can't
No, of course not. Of
say
course not.
but I'm very excited about it. But also I think um never say never. So I always I don't have an avenue to the sport right now. But if a door opened and somebody somebody would love to give me a job in that, or if something comes up about coaching or something, I definitely it would pique my interest to try and go do it. Is what I'm saying. So I'm not entirely shut the door, but the door's being a little bit
Yeah,
closed.
yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody, wants to open that up, I would happily jump at the chance.
Would that be disabled? Like, so we pause the football sport, or would it be any?
Just any sport, obviously we spoke about uh football, but any level I would jump at the chance. You know, I can't play football, but you know, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I can definitely do something about that.
Mm. And yeah, so yeah, so you're on the project. Exciting. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Um, there's no release date or anything. There's no announcements about that.
No, I've not been told. I
Oh,
don't know if
fair enough.
yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't know if
Is this
there is.
another short? Is this another short senior in the game, or is this more of a
This
more of a
is
big
a
role for
film.
you?
This is a film.
Oh, fair enough.
Based on a book. That's what I'd say. Yeah, so the feature length film, and they're doing test screenings at the minute. So yeah,
Early doors.
that's what I know. That's what I know about you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shan't put you any longer. You know, the NDAs and everything else. Um, yeah. So that pretty much brings us up. How do you feel about disability representation on TV?
How do I feel about it? I feel
Well, it's getting better.
it's definitely getting better.
Hmm.
I just feel at the moment we were ignored for so long that now I think that we are being shoehorned in. But I think there's another level where we can have characters who happen to be disabled, and I think that's the next step. I think um, having having a character who is disabled is completely different to a character who happens to have disability. You know, if you look at all of the characters in film or TV history, and you put a disability on them, will the characters still work?
Hmm.
95% of the time, the answer is yes, it will. And I think that's the next step, you know? Um, but yeah, there's a long way to go. There's definitely a long way to go.
Yeah, and I'm sure you and Leia, you know,
Yeah,
Cara, yeah, put disability at the forefront probably for young children to now who are now adults, to
yeah.
recognise disability in the first instance, rather than growing up without seeing anybody disabled and then just seeing them around the shopping centre or to see them
Mm,
out and about. You know, I think there was something there from the early doors, from the early days.
yeah, I think Cara was my first
Yeah,
the depiction of like a disabled character, and
mm,
also her having CP and I've got CP. You know, I think Cara um set set fire to like disabled characters being definitely in children's TV shows. You know,
yeah. And then
yeah,
the way, and then obviously now you've got people like, you know, the last leg, you know, Alex Booker,
yeah.
and what's Booker,
Oh, I
Adam
don't.
Hills, Adam
Yeah,
Hill, and Josh Widdicombe. I don't know what disability he's got, but he's there. He's
yeah.
probably ginger, probably wise to say with ginger. But no, and then you've got like people like Rosa Jones. You know, she's everywhere at the moment. Um,
Yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot's happening. And that's
There's
good.
definitely a turn.
Yeah,
There's definitely something in the air.
yeah,
I think it can only be more positive than negative.
mm, yeah. And so going on to the last couple. So going back to acting a little bit.
Yeah.
Did was there any conversations being had with you maybe coming back as Frank again for like my mum, Tracy Beaker, and the Beaker Girls, which was quite recently done, during COVID, after COVID, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Because they obviously brought back Justin Littlewood, obviously Tracy's rival, and then Mike came back, and then Cam came back as obviously Tracy's foster parent, and then you finally met her real mum, who apparently was in Hollywood this whole time. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming none of the dumping ground people came back, or no,
I'm not sure. I know that I wasn't asked back, but I I don't know if I was ever mentioned or I was ever considered. I think um because
it would have been
kind
interesting.
of yeah, it was just it
Yeah.
was I feel like Tracy Beaker Returns
Mm.
feels kind of its own thing now because
Yes.
obviously Tracy Beaker,
Yeah.
the story of Tracy Beaker written by Jacqueline Wilson,
Mm.
um, and then I think Beaker Girls followed on from that.
Yes.
But
Mm.
then I feel like Tracy Beaker Returns in a way was another spin-off
Yeah.
from it because I don't know if they have ever referenced any character in.
Well, apart from Mike,
Well,
uh,
yeah, Mike went in the
Justine, and
story of
yeah,
Beaker.
yeah, Mike's
Yeah,
everywhere, isn't he? But yeah, and then I just remembered actually they recast, which is a bit of a shame, really, but they recast Peter,
yeah,
for Beaker Girls, I think it was,
yeah.
and it was obviously Worm, as he was so affectionately called in the early
Mm,
days by Tracy. So yeah, that was a nice win back. It was obviously a different person, which is a bit of a shame. I was like,
yeah.
just to keep the original.
That,
Right.
that can happen though. That can happen. So
Yeah,
like if the actor didn't want to do acting anymore,
yeah,
or if the actor's not really, or if the actor's too busy or
yeah,
whatever, it just shows how replaceable
yeah.
we are.
Yeah. But I mean, I know we touched on kind of like if they were to do some sort of reunions, I'm sure you'd be up for that. But if
Yeah,
there was any future Tracy Beaker spin-offs again, would you go back as Frank, or would you come back as yourself, or would you want to step away from Frank and do your other projects?
I'd I'd probably if I were given the option of like
Yeah,
this or that,
yeah, yeah,
I would probably I enjoy my time so much on Tracy Weekend Common Ground. I probably wouldn't wanna like ruin the moment
yeah.
of it, so I would probably go for
Mm,
the other option. But then, never say never, like I've already said.
yeah,
So yeah, I think the acting gods may decide, oh, it's time to bring Frank back, or it might be time to do something else. I really don't know. And that's what I love about the acting game. You don't know what is the next project, and that's exciting.
Absolutely. And yeah, so I mean, can you imagine a spin-off with you and Liam back together and seeing all
The, I mean, there was talks of a Liam and Frank spin-off. Never really got anywhere. Um, there were also talks of Julie and Tyler, which were another set of characters um on the show. But that never got greenlit either. But yeah, there's a big difference between talking about the show and then
and then doing it.
getting it on, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's a long process.
I
But
bet.
I'm here for it.
Well, there you go. As your first answer, BBC or whoever wants to,
There we go.
Um, yeah. Well, so it's taking this long. I just had so many questions. Um, so we mentioned earlier about Sarah Jane Adventures and Doctor Who and all the rest of it. I mean, it'd be quite something if Billy Piper came back for a special, and then you'd be my next Doctor. Um, I mean, obviously, a disabled Doctor would be quite nice. But would you, if
I
you
did
want to
that
do
then.
sci-fi, would you want to do, Subwave? Would you do sci-fi? Would you do all the other genres out there?
I'd do anything. I would do literally any, sci-fi, romance, comedy. I would say again, if I had to choose, I would maybe do comedy the most. But I'm also a bigger fan of horror. I'm a bigger fan of like feel good films. Marvel, give me a call. Yeah, I'm a big fan of, I guess, film itself. So yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll take a while to get to a disabled Doctor, a Doctor number 20 or something like that. But
I
yeah,
mean, his genes are always changing. So
yeah,
I believe that one doctor at least could have, his genes not go right, and he ends up with CP, or somehow. I'm sure Russell T Davies can think of something. I believe in Russell T Davies. I believe in,
yeah.
you know, I believe in them all. Like, I believe in Amarin for my
Final part. Thank goodness. So it's taking a while. I thought it might take this long. Um, so
I'm here, but
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So before I go into the final question and sort of sign off, I've not missed anything else, have I? I've gone through your entire
no,
life and not missed anything.
no, no.
Goes to show my research was spot on then. Um, so okay, so last question. What tips or advice would you give to somebody with cerebral palsy? I mean, what type of cerebral palsy is it? Because I know there's different types.
Oh, it is
One word,
tetraplegia,
right?
which is Greek. So it's similar to quadriplegia, but it's
Yeah, got
yeah, the Greek version of CP.
it. Yeah, and I've got the Spanish version. No, but yeah, I'm
We're
not.
international. That's great.
Yeah, internet. Yeah. We're yeah, and that could be his only spin-off. But yeah, what sort of what tips or advice would you give to someone with the same condition as you, basically? What
I would say tips or advice. I would say it sounds cliche, but I would say to be yourself, be unapologetically you. You know, I think the barriers are slowly coming down. So I would say get involved with you know trying to put more disabled people out there, like starting your own podcast, starting your own trying to I'll tell you a good advice. Go to CP Movement, which is an organization I've done a bit of work for, and have a look at their website and see what they can suggest for you, because I think there's a few job roles up there that people can look at and try and get involved with. And yeah, just start branching out and doing whatever you can. You know?
sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, a massive thank you, Chris, Frank, whatever, for coming on. An absolute pleasure to speak to you. And yeah.
It was great. Thank you for inviting me, and good luck on your podcast and everything else.
Yeah, thank you.
Voice. Let's go. Voice FM.